let's use a library for our CSS for our website, our homepage that we're making. And we're going to be using Tailwind CSS. So the URL for Tailwind CSS is this. I've got that page loaded up over here. And they have some instructions here for using it with Vite. If we visit that page, it's going to show us some steps that we're going to follow in a second. But just to review, I've got one terminal open logged into my Linux system. And then I've got another another terminal window open over here that's logged into my local Mac machine. Now you can do this all on a Mac or all on Windows. What I'm doing here, remember, is I'm pretending as though I've got this Linux system and I want to use the development tools, or the text editor on my Mac. And previously what I did was I shared this folder, this shared folder with guests with my Linux VM, so I can edit the same files. And over here, you can see I've got two files I made previously, and I see the same two files over here. What I'm going to do is, since I've got npm over here on my Linux computer, I'm going to use npm to create sorry, npm create vite at latest. I'm going to call this Tailwind install demo. So we go through the same process of creating a React app with JavaScript. We run it now. It's going to install all that stuff. So that's essentially this first step right here. And if we try to load up this web page, it's not going to work because remember, we're running it on the VM. And what we have to do is we have to use the -- host to expose it. So remember, here I am. I just created this folder right there. I'm going to go into that folder and I can do my npm run dev. But remember, I want to do -- host. And now it's going to tell me about the IP address and the port number. And come over here, do this, and I see that I've got everything running. All right, so we've got that created. Our next step in our instructions here is to install Tailwind. So, inside the directory, remember I'm inside the little project that I just created with npm. Say npm install Tailwind CSS Tailwind CSS /Vite. Great. Okay, now that's done. Here comes the editing part. So I have to go and edit this file that's inside the project. What I'm looking for is a file called viteconfig.ts. That's this file right here. On my Mac, if I type ls, you can see that that directory is there as well. And if I go into that directory, you can see that that file is there as well. I'm going to open that up in my text editor. You can use VS Code at home. You can use whatever text editor you like. Here I am using Sublime Text. And I'm essentially going to follow the same instructions here. So there's two parts highlighted, right there and right there. Import Tailwind CSS from single quote at Tailwind CSS /Vite. And then over in the plugins here, I'm going to format this a little nicer so it's easy to read. And we've done that. Now we need to import Tailwind, and that file, before I move on, remember, I'm editing this on my Mac with Sublime Text. And over here, this is my VM, and I opened it up via my Mac over here. So if I come to my VM, this window right here, and I look at the contents of that file, you can see that I did make the edits. So this is the nice thing about being able to share across the guest and the host. Our next step is to import Tailwind CSS into our CSS. So let us navigate through this. We're going for a source directory, and index.css is the file that we want to edit. And remember that was inside of the source folder, src. Opening that up with our text editor. this is all the stuff that we have with the demo website like this. So I'm just going to get rid of all of this. And I'm just going to do exactly what it says there. Copy that, paste that there, and save it. But we won't really, well, what we'll see is significant changes if this is running. It's not running, so let's get that running again. npm run dev dash host. And you'll see that the formatting is all different because we removed all the default CSS. Let's make some changes such as, how about we add some fonts? So if you want fonts, a nice place to go is fonts.google.com. At fonts.google.com, you can search for a variety of different fonts. You've got choices like a serif font. Those are the fonts that have little wings at the ends of the letters. Sans serif fonts, which are like this font right here, Roboto. And then you've got your fixed width font, which is like the font that you use for text editor, for coding, like a typewriter. I'm going to select a few fonts that I'm familiar with. So IBM Plex Mono. I'll add that to my shopping bag. I'll look for a serif font. I'm a fan of old-fashioned style fonts. So Paramount Garamond is a nice looking font. Add that to my shopping bag. And then let's find a sans serif font. How about Nito Sans? And that's a pretty looking font. So in my little shopping bag, I've got 3 fonts. I've got my fixed width font. I've got my my serif font and my sans serif font. I'm going to get the embed code here, and I'm going to use the @import. I'm going to copy this code and bring it over to that index.css. And right above it, I'm going to copy and paste it, but I don't need the style tags there. With that, now I'm importing those 3 fonts. And what I will probably want to do is figure out how to customize the theme. And there is some documentation on the Tailwind website. This page, I'll put the URL in the comments. Maybe I can just put that there so you can see. Tailwind CSS docs, theme, customizing your theme. This gives you a rundown of some tips on how to customize the theme. If you go all the way down to the bottom, it'll give you a long list of all the defaults of the theme. And what we're going to do is we're just going to overwrite the font's themes. And what we can do is just grab this part right there, come over here, paste that in there, close that off. And what we are going to add are our preferred fonts. So I'm going to add for our sans serif font. What was it again? Well, I can't remember. We had Nunito Sans. So I want to use the same name that shows up in the instructions here. So I'm looking for, oh yeah, Nunito Sans right there. So our sans serif font. And if there's a space in it, I'm going to put it in quotes. And a comma. The serif font was Paramount Garamond. And our font for our monospace was IBM, what was it? IBM Plex Mono. Great. So that's how you can install Tailwind into your project. That's how you can override the default themes. That's how you can go shopping for some fonts. And since we've got the server running, we can reload this page. You can see nothing's changed. But we can just start editing the JSX files. Oh, because I didn't save it. If I save this, I should see some change in the fonts. It's using mostly sans serif fonts. But there you have it. That's how you can get fonts and Tailwind into your React project.